We'll Google later and give away a price.
What are you doing to get to the perimeter on this cut?
I'm going to just look at it, let it be natural. I might clean up a little bit. On the straighter hair, I would actually probably take a little clipper or comb and just nip off the bottom a little bit. The whole haircut being round and then just cutting in a little bit the ears, just so you can have clean cut around the ears. But on him, I just like the curls, so probably just make sure it's not too long. Just kind of almost cross check it more than clean it up. We're almost done here. Just
What's his biggest styling issue?
Excuse me?
What is his biggest styling?
What's your biggest styling issue?
The curves are just crazy. Can't really do anything with it.
No, his exact words are, if you let this go, I look like Will Ferrell. That's what he said during our consultation. So I'm trying to keep him away from Will Ferrell look. Not that I wouldn't like him money. I did see Will Ferrell when he was doing a basketball movie about basketball, and he had this gigantic, his real hair, he was walking through Vegas, and inside this gigantic afro. It was weird looking. Okay, just cross-check it up a little bit, and we're done.
That was efficient.
One more piece right here. The cool thing is if you're working around in these little square patterns, then whichever one you grab, you have a guide right next to you. So it's always a guide around you. Cross-checking it's already done. Now, like I said, I'll just kind of pull it down and check it. Make sure there's nothing just real out of the ordinary.
So you said it was a round layer?
Just basically a short round layer in my head from what I grew up on is every hair the same. Every hair the same length. And I'll tell you, well, what it is, it's not what you think kind of. It's perfect here because it's actually short round, so everything's laying the same. But on a short round layer, if this is 1 inch, it's laying here. If this is 1 inch, it's laying here. If this is 1 inch, it's laying here. But if it's 1 inch here, it's long and it's kicking off. And if it's 1 inch at the neck, it's giving you that little flip, and it looks like Mrs. Brady or or the Partridge Family. So that was actually kind of that shape of that, the shag, what have you. And then you could clean up as you will. But at that point, you can take it clean around the ears. But yeah, in theory, if you go perfectly around, eventually there's no head. I mean, there's no more hair, but there's hair hanging down. So now it's really long here, where it looks really short here, even though it's exactly the same length. So then you just shape accordingly. I see one little piece. Nope. Yeah, so anywhere you look, it's pretty much, it's connected to the last section, so it's good.
Would you personalize it if you wait?
Yeah, I'm going to actually take and clean around the ears a little bit on him. But I don't want to take it too short. But if you take it too short around the ears, then everything gets bigger. So I'm going to still leave it shaggy around the ears, but just kind of clean it up. So my fingers will go right in, right against there. My fingers will go in there, and then that'll be my guide. So everything will be a 1/4 inch around the edges. And that'll be my version. But on the straight hair, then again, I would have taken it closer with the clippers. Take that little curl out. You put it also down. Here we go. Again, my fingers are going to go right in there as a guide. If I shove my finger against his head as far as it can go, it's going to be perfect, and it's going to be that it can become a naturally even cut there. Now, see that, you guys? See how long it is down there? So that's where we can kind of come down the same thing, just kind of bring it down and cut your perimeter in. Cut off his Partridge Family. One thing I think with the guys, if you just don't fear a guy's haircut, just don't take it too short. Just kind of work your way down until you get to where you want to be. Kind of, if nothing else, just whittle away at it until it's what you want, because they're easy to do. This won't hurt at all. Now, when I'm cutting a man's haircut, this is like a barber trick that I like to use. I'm not particularly fond of a straight, really blunt line. This is a personal opinion. I don't really like when you cut in I don't like it's too long, so I want to cut it way up here and give him a better line. Because if there's a lot of hair where you're cutting above, all you're going to get the next week is like a 5 o'clock shadow. So if you're cutting in an artificial line and then shaving all the extra hair off, in a day or two, he's going to get like a black shadow there. So sometimes stick with their natural line if possible. And if it's a little too hard at the bottom, or if you cut a hard line in it, turn your clippers upside down so they're facing upward, and then come underneath. Take your comb, lift the hair up a little bit, and then kind of shape up underneath just to like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch, depending on how much hair you got. And what's going to happen is when the hair falls down over itself, it's going to give itself a nice soft line. So that'll give you a better look than just kind of cutting in a straight line and having a real harsh. I like it to look like it's already grown out a week or so instead of it looks like it just got done 5 minutes ago. So that'll be a better line right there. That's itching.
Okay.
Here we got this again. Okay, that's his little bamboo style natural curl. Put a little of that through there again. We have the primer in there. We have a little bit of this in there already. With curly hair, I like to put a little bit of extra product on it. I like to leave curly hair to actually dry by itself. I think sometimes we can get into like drying it and diffusing it and touching it and touching it and touching it and touching it, and all we get is fuzzier, 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 fuzzier. So a great thing for this is it's easier for you. The guy's out of your chair quicker. You put in a certain amount of product in his hair. You say, hey, when this is completely dry, then you can just kind of take your hand, just kind of like break it up just a little bit, and you're going to get a better look. It's going to look more natural than if you're just kind of trying to dry it in the chair. And if you don't like it, just kind of push it in like that. It's perfect. It's so forgiving, and I'll cut it even tomorrow. I'm going to let you go like that, just natural curl it. I like your curls. Okay. Come back here, let's get a straight shot at the front there. There you go.
Am I turning for the camera?
Oh, look at that cute face.
All right.
All good?
You're good. Thank you very much. How are we doing? Can I do one more thing right before your break? Are we good? What's up break time?
Yeah, hi, just tell everybody too that this video will be available for download from YouTube. So please make sure that when you signed in, if you didn't give us your email address, that you make sure your email address is on there so you'll get notified when those are available.
Make sure it's legible.
Let's bring out my first model again, Vina. Is Vina come back out?
Hello again. I have crumbs everywhere. I was just
Oh, you look
eating.
good. Oh, no. Little bento box right there. I see it. So real quickly, and then we'll take a little bit of a break. I just want to play with the hair one more time. This is one of those just real easy things, but I think it's really useful. I have a bun today, but I usually have really, really long hair, and it drives you crazy. Then your rubber band breaks, or you don't have rubber bands, and you do it. So I've done this numerous times just on myself, just to save me. And that's just kind of brush out your hair. I think.